Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Hi.
Good morning.
I am here.
Hi. I am here. Well, welcome here. I am Faith. I am your host for Start Sit Different Day on this lovely Saturday after Christmas. Happy day after Christmas, gentlemen.
Yes, indeed.
Merry
Christmas.
Merry, quite
It's
contrary.
it's Kwanzaa today, if I'm not mistaken. So Merry Kwanzaa. to
Dumb
those that
made up
celebrate.
holiday.
Not a made up holiday.
Whoa.
It was made up in 1966.
Okay. Christmas is
holiday.
also a made up holiday. So I mean, are we really gonna? Because Jesus wasn't born on December 25th. So are we gonna pull straws here? Is that what we're gonna do?
Yes.
Okay, then Christmas is a fake holiday. Halloween's a fake holiday.
Absolutely.
I think it's a great idea that we just move on.
Yeah. 4th of July is really the only real holiday.
I'm just glad I'm not the one caught in this argument with Joe for a change.
I mean, let's not call out Kwanzaa in the entire country or the entire continent of Africa. Let's just call it what it is. It's a holiday.
Indeed.
There you go.
Hey, we have a guest.
We do.
We have a guest. We are obviously clearly Ryan embarrassed by his children right now.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I can't sit idly by while someone spews nonsense. But welcome, Jeff Greenwood.
Yes.
To the podcast.
Welcome, Jeff Greenwood. In case you don't know, Jeff is a writer for the Fantasy Footballers and the official, all caps, fantasy football fullback analyst.
Wow, say that 5 times fast.
No,
that is a
As
mouthful.
I was typing that, I was literally thinking that. I'm like, this is
that's why
that's
why it took me so long to say it. Like, wait a second, what is happening right now?
That's a mouthful.
It's a lot.
Wow.
Thank you guys for having me. I very much appreciate it. It's nice to
popping that podcast cherry today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. First time on. So I was catching up on the podcast that you guys put out with stepmom Lauren. So she's a tough act to follow. And so I can't promise I won't call you daddy at some point in the show.
That's all right. You don't have to.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. You don't have to.
No.
It's funny.
He's not hosting today, Jeff. It's okay.
I feel like I missed something.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, you did.
I feel like I just want to sign off for the day already.
Okay, bye, Ryan. Merry Kwanzaa. Have a good day.
Bye, Daddy.
No.
But it was funny because my dad picked me up from the airport Thursday morning or Thursday afternoon from Logan Airport. You know, on the drive home, he's like, I listened back to your show today because I wasn't able to listen to the whole thing, and he's like, fucking Rex Ryan, really? I'm like, you could tell by my face. I didn't think I said Rex Ryan. So I don't know where I pulled that from, but
that was great.
Here we are.
It was absolute gold.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, Faith, go back and listen. We appreciate the listenership from you.
I was with family.
Okay.
So we're a lot of people.
Yeah. So it's just my job is to make people laugh. If I could do that, you know, I make people laugh and I give good information. So, you know, that's the goal. If I can drop a Rex Ryan still coaches in the NFL and still tell you that Justin Herbert is bad against the Patriots, you know, I'm doing my job. I'm doing my job.
Anyway, Jeff, I would just like to say that Joe and I will always welcome another New England fan to the show, like forever. You always have a home with us.
I'll welcome
whatever
anyone
the other two say, doesn't matter.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And I know, Faith, before the show, you had asked, you know, what are you wearing that jersey for? So just explain it and, you know, get the elephant in the room. I've got my Ravens Pat Ricard jersey. So it said the fullback analyst. I've reached out to a couple of the players in the league that are fullbacks, Pat Ricard, whose jersey I'm wearing for the Ravens, and then Kyle Juszczyk, and jokingly had gone back and forth, and they had said, I can be their unofficial, official fantasy football analyst. And both of them are in the Pro Bowl, so not a coincidence if you ask me.
Wow.
Ricard questionable today. I almost included that in the show notes just for you. So,
yeah.
I think we better jump into the questions before Griffin gets very angry with us.
Yeah, because Griffin was in here early. So let's start with these. Then we can run through the injuries and talk a little bit about their yesterday.
Kareem Hunt or Leonard Fournette?
To me, it's Leonard Fournette all day against that Detroit defense.
Fournette.
Yeah.
I picked Leonard Fournette for my championship matchup this weekend, and I beat Josh out. Josh bid $10, and I was advised because I haven't spent any of my fab money, not in any of my leagues at all this season. None.
Oh, that was that notification that I got. Okay,
yes.
Damn it.
You also have
Stoner was like, spend everything you've got left, and I was like, I have all of it left, so I dropped 200 on Leonard Fournette.
Leonard Fournette was available.
That's
insane.
I'm gonna be honest. I was rarely paying attention to that league.
Oh, I paid a lot of attention until
favorite league
until Justin Herbert smashed Gardner Minshew for 5th place.
R.I.P. to Ryan's championship run with Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, it was fun.
Guys, Ryan drafted Minshew in the first round in hopes that he would win beer that he doesn't even drink.
Yep.
So just send him Bud Light.
I was gonna give it to the world. I'm a beer philanthropist.
a beer anthropist?
Yes.
I saw that in the beginning of the season. I was wondering how your team was doing. So not in the championship.
Not good.
8-5, made the playoffs, bounced in the first round.
Okay.
Tough.
I bounced in I was sad. I was proud of myself. I made 8 out of 13 playoffs, and then I made 5 out of 8 semis, and then I made 1 championship.
But you're in the championship with the league with all the club fantasy people. So
yeah. Also, I want to give a shout out. I see a lot of new people in here.
I know.
So very excited.
I was thinking the same thing.
Jeff drawing in the crowd.
Yeah, he is.
Let's dive in.
All right. EPR, Hunt, Wilson, or AB?
Ooh. Jeff Wilson.
Jeff Wilson.
Yeah, I think you got to go Jeff Wilson.
No Mostert. That's going to be big for him this week.
He's the only running back in the backfield.
Yep.
Shanahan produces running back, production, and when he gets an opportunity, Wilson he delivers. I think he's the pick.
And what's been interesting is even when Mostert was in, Wilson kind of took over that pass catching role that you would have expected Jerick McKinnon or even Tevin Coleman to take. So now you wonder, with Wilson already having been the goal line back and the pass catching back, is he going to be a true 3-down back this week? And that could be huge in fantasy championships.
All right.
Biohazard.
Before we have a question, apparently the only team that uses a fullback had fullbacks make the Pro Bowl.
Hold on, Burn Zone. There were 13 eligible fullbacks, sir. Okay, 6 of them made the Pro Bowl.
Did they really?
I think so. Yeah.
Interesting.
It was either 6 or 4 made the Pro Bowl. Regardless, at least 25% of eligible fullbacks made the Pro Bowl.
There you go. Just like
DJ Moore, Chris Godwin.
Ooh. I'm on the Godwin hype train this week. We talked about this on Wednesday. Ron Rivera, not Rex Ryan, knows how to guard and cover DJ Moore going against Washington and Carolina.
And likely respects him as the wide receiver 1. We talked about that on Wednesday.
Exactly. So I think this is going to be more of a Robbie Anderson week. So that's why I would lean Godwin here.
Detroit can't cover Godwin. So
can they cover anybody? Is the real question.
And that's your biggest worry with the Tampa Bay pass catchers.
Yeah, there's a lot of mouths to feed, but DJ Moore is gonna get all the focus from Ron Rivera. So it's you have to kind of start Godwin in that instance. Matchup's better.
Agreed.
I'm not gonna tell you what Ron Rivera just reminded me of.
Rex Ryan.
Nope.
Yeah, Faith doesn't know. Also, Jeff, butt in anytime, dude. Just step over us, man. Yeah, no, just step over. When Josh says something stupid, yell at him. That's most of what I do. Most of
what we all do.
I like very common theme on this show.
Yeah, Ryan's normally good though.
I have a bell.
Ryan has a bell.
To fight each other.
Ryan's got the bell. Yeah. All right, next one.
Allen or Brady? Carolina's not giving up a lot of QB points, but Allen's ceiling is probably higher. Help.
Well, Brady's playing
about this on the last show, right? And I think Joe, you had talked about your concern about Allen going against the Patriots on Monday night, and I'd go Brady myself, and that's a tough thing to say because Allen's been better throughout the season. There's question marks with Brady, but I trust Brady just like some of the fantasy footballers had said. I think Andy was picking Brady in this exact decision.
So I'm not comparing these two by statistical and ability by any means, but you look at what Cincinnati, a 2-10-1 team, did last week to an 11-2 Pittsburgh Steelers team. That's a division matchup in Cincinnati on Monday Night Football at home. Pittsburgh favored by 13 points. You don't think the Patriots want to spank Buffalo, getting 7 at home against a division rival in prime time? Josh Allen doesn't play well in 1 o'clock games against the Patriots, let alone in primetime games against the Patriots. Belichick has his number. If Allen breaks that curse, congratulations. Allen has never played well against the New England Patriots. His worst game this year was 12 points against the New England Patriots in Buffalo. 1 o'clock game. He's not going to do well in primetime. This is where Bill will shine. Yes, I don't care that Stephon Gilmore is hurt. Doesn't matter. They're going to figure out a game plan to stop Josh Allen. Diggs may have 200 yards, but that only equates to 8 points for Josh Allen.
That's the thing is wide receivers can eat and a quarterback cannot. We've seen that happen multiple times. So.
Exactly. Diggs in his first game against the Pats was 8 for 94. That's 17.4 points. Josh Allen had 12.
Faith, you wanted to add something?
I was going to say, Joe, to your point about the Patriots just wanting to spank Buffalo, there's also somewhere in the heads of those defensive players that we've held the NFC.
The AFC East?
Exactly, those words. For like 11 years now, and Buffalo just took that.
And you would have won the NFC East if you were in it this year.
Exactly.
also,
just fair, I could win the NFC East by myself, I'm pretty sure.
Just to point out, the only quarterback that's had a top 12 performance against the Patriots this year in that division, Joe Flacco. How many times has Joe Flacco destroyed that team? That's all I'm saying. The only quarterback in that division, you have Tua, Fitzpatrick, Josh Allen, and Sam Darnold didn't play yet. They played the Jets in week 17.
I'm just going to throw out 2 quick actual fantasy football, I hate Buffalo stats. Over the last 4 weeks, thanks to the awesome tool that Lauren and Josh showed me, Detroit has given up the most points to quarterbacks. So I think that's going to be a big one. And then like we just brought up, Detroit can't cover anybody. Brady actually stats out to my QB4 for the week. So
there you go.
I'm going to chime in since y'all just continue to talk about how much you don't like Josh Allen this week. It's easy to like Brady because of the matchup, and I get that. But for me, this all depends on how your lineup is set up. Right. If you need
that's the cop-out answer.
No, it's not. It really
is my
isn't.
favorite answer.
Yes, it is.
It's
you said it depends on how your lineup's constructed last week and recommended Miles Sanders over David Montgomery. What did Alvin Kamara do to the middle of the pack Minnesota Vikings defense yesterday?
Already right.
It's Tom Brady. There's no competition.
I mean, you take away those touchdowns and what is it? Like
you take away Alvin Kamara's touchdowns? He had 100 yards on the ground, sir.
Again. That's great. Fine.
That's
who scored 6 touchdowns like ever? It hasn't happened since 1969.
Ryan, ring the bell. He's a moron. I win.
It's not even the question we're debating anymore. Josh, who would you
The point I'm getting at is I understand the upside with Brady. The season that Josh Allen is having right now, he got me to my championship.
Congratulations.
I'm not sitting that guy. Just my opinion.
Congratulations. Sit Josh Allen.
Next question.
So, CeeDee Lamb, T.Y. Hilton, or Curtis Samuel?
CeeDee Lamb.
Lamb was so average last week until he took that kickback, and then I found out some leagues don't even give you points for that, which is super weird to me. It's a touchdown.
My league doesn't do that.
Yeah,
and Ryan, you got to think too. He was 15 away from 100 yards receiving, so there's bonus points for a lot of leagues, right?
Yeah,
5 for 85. Yeah. I mean, 13 points, again, my guess
is saying it's just average, but I agree. If you'd hit the 100-point marker, you get the bonuses. But I would also go Lamb in this situation. I'm actually starting Lamb.
It's garbage time. So. Go Lamb. Philly's defensive line is going to wreck some havoc on Andy Dalton, so I don't love Dalton. I really don't love the Dallas pass catchers, but...
So are you saying multiple sacks for Brandon Graham? Inquiring minds want to know.
Probably, yeah. Probably.
I think too, like my theory about picking is pretty simple. Like in The Office, Dwight Schrute talks about, would an idiot do this? If the answer is yes,
I would not do that.
do that thing. And that's kind of how I make my decisions. Is I trust the talent of CD Lamb the most at this point in his career, and I think he can get it done. So I think, what am I going to feel less stupid about if I'm wrong? And that's often how I make some of these decisions.
That's actually a great point, though, to Jeff, because I'll say that to a lot of people where they come to me for advice, and I go, look, they won't necessarily want the advice I gave them. They wanted me to say the other thing, and I'm like, hey, you can be mad at me or you can be mad at yourself. If you're right and I'm wrong, you're gonna kill yourself at that point. Where start your guy, and then you can be like, should have listened to Ryan if I'm right, but if not, then you know not to bother me anymore, because there's no way I was going to be right in that situation.
Yeah, Jeff, I kind of have the same thing. Would I rather die at the hands of CeeDee Lamb or T.Y. Hilton? Exactly. I'd rather die at the hands of CeeDee Lamb than T.Y. Hilton.
Absolutely.
And that's what I say sometimes. If I have two matchups where it's like, okay, I have the option to start, a guy who's traditionally a stud but has maybe been down, or a guy who, isn't as much of a stud but has shown out the past couple weeks. Who do I want to die at the hands of? The stud, 9 times out of 10.
Do you want to be heartbroken when you see Zach Pascal score 2 touchdowns? So.
Exactly. But
what should have been a smash matchup for Hilton.
Yeah. But I think CeeDee Lamb is a good play this week. Dalton looks at him like it's not like he's getting targets. He's getting looked at in the offense. It is a rivalry game. Philadelphia will drop 30 plus points on this defense. So Dallas is going to have to throw to stay in the game. No one on that secondary can cover CeeDee Lamb. Not a single living soul can cover that guy. So
do we know if Zeke is going to play yet? Did that come out?
They're saying he's trending towards playing.
Yeah.
He's still questionable, but trending.
Honestly, if Zeke plays, I like CeeDee Lamb more.
Do we want to have Joe run through the injuries real quick?
Before I get to Sean's question. Joe, go ahead. We'll take a brief break from questions. Joe's going to run through our injury report. And while he's getting to that page real quick, I would just like to say, if you started Alvin Kamara,
congratulations.
If you sat Irv Smith,
don't listen to Josh. It's just the usual thing we do here.
Sorry about your bad luck.
Saints have improved versus the tight end steadily against this the whole season. I don't think I had Irv ranked very high either.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone did. I bust Josh's balls, but I told him before we even got on. Irv Smith has scored, however many touchdowns he scored has been on that fake halfback dive. Irv Smith in the flat across the front of the formation. That's been all of his touchdowns.
To be fair, I had Irv Smith going 4 catches, 33 yards, and a touchdown. So I was basically just a touchdown off.
Saints defense against the tight ends the past 4 weeks
has been good.
7th best.
Yeah, they've been great. And Irv Smith and Kirk Cousins figured out that, we run this play 80% of the time on the goal line. Let's just do it again, because clearly no team watches film of the red zone anymore.
All right, Joe, you ready?
I'm going to play contrarian real quick on Irv Smith. I saw a few posts yesterday, and I'm not going to call anyone out by name, mainly because I don't remember who they were, saying Irv Smith is this like diamond in the rough for dynasty. Those touchdowns could have easily went to Dalvin Cook. Both of the first plays on those 2 drives went to Dalvin Cook, and he was stopped. Mm-hmm. And then on second down, where you traditionally run play action, they broke to Irv Smith. Scott Fish put out a great tweet last week about he can't wait until next year when we're all talking about how deep tight end is and how it's finally the year where just the big 3 won't matter. Stop it. It's not going to happen. But anyway.
Hey, we may have a big 4 if Noah Fant or TJ Hawkinson wants to step up.
If they want to play it 2 years in a row, I'll be okay with that. So
yeah. All right. Injuries. Season's done for Raheem Mostert, Deebo Samuel, so they're obviously not playing today at 4:00. George Kittle will play though. Can we start him as a question in here? No, you cannot. He's playing Budda Baker, the best safety in the league. So
I say you can. If you don't have Waller, Andrews, Kelsey, I say you can start Kittle this week.
I agree, Ryan. Yeah, I think it's just such a dart throw at the position. And I respect the argument about Budda Baker. And I know there's some comments in the last pod about best safety in the league. But I think I trust the talent. I trust the talent of Kittle. And I'd rather die with Kittle than have a dart throw of someone on the waivers.
Yeah, and we were literally just talking about that.
Yeah, no, and that's very fair. That's 100% fair. That's 100% fair. Okay, questionable. Matt Stafford, Daniel Jones, Alex Smith. Alex Smith was thrown to receivers at practice, I believe, yesterday or 2 days ago. So,
and they don't want Haskins playing this week. So.
Exactly. Just take that for what you will. Alex Smith has been throwing. Ezekiel Elliott, Chase Edmonds, James Robinson, Antonio Gibson, Tyreek Hill, Allen Robinson, Keenan Allen, Marquise Brown, Dan Arnold, and Mike Gesicki. Doubtful, Christian McCaffrey, Jamal Williams, and Terry McLaurin's doubtful.
Yeah,
I got to take him out of my lineup. That's tough. And out, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Cam Akers, Duke Johnson, Ronald Jones, Phillip Lindsay, Kenny Golladay, Julio Jones, Tyler Boyd, and Golden Tate. Back to your questions.
Real quick, news just broke. Eagles have activated Deshaun Jackson and will play Sunday against Dallas. So RIP to Kez Watkins season.
So Deshaun Jackson to the moon. That's 150 touchdowns right there. You're in DFS. Plug in Deshaun Jackson. Congratulations. There's your money. Deshaun Jackson division game. Goodbye.
I remember saying that in week 1 against Washington. That worked out well.
Does that make Jalen Reagor, Greg Ward unplayable, though?
I don't think it makes Ward unplayable. I think this is ultimately going to be the starting lineup they hoped for, with Ward in the slot, Jackson and Jeffrey on the outside, instead of going forward with the young guys.
Okay.
That Jalen Hurts, practice with all freaking offseason. They're going to throw him with these veterans that can't get off the line of scrimmage anymore. So, yeah, we'll see.
Well, and that was my question with Deshaun Jackson in the lineup. Where does that fit Jalen Hurts' value?
I mean, his value still stays the same to me just because of his legs.
It only goes up. He has a deep threat now. It only goes up.
He's had deep threat.
Jalen Hurts.
QB2 for me this week.
Josh, he has a deep threat that didn't play college ball at TCU. So
that's not what I was referring to, Jalen Hurts, but it's fine.
So
because Watkins can get deep too, as he showed.
Our good buddy Sean went up against Alvin Kamara.
Good morning, Sean.
I'm sorry for you.
Yeah.
However, the person also started the Saints and Drew Brees. I'm guessing the Saints D and Drew Brees, so it leveled out some, and he's still projected to win.
How are you still projected to win? That's incredible.
Well, it's fair. If you fit, go ahead.
Who has the highest upside flex? Fournette, James Robinson, Cooper Kupp, or Myles Gaskin in a PPR?
Fournette to the moon.
I do want to throw out real quick, though. If you think about this, Breeze would have been projected to be about 18 to 20 points. So that steals 10 points away from Kamara. The Saints would have been another 10 points. That's another 10 points for Kamara. 36 points out of running back is still a beatable score. So,
I mean,
cut his legs out.
I guess.
I wouldn't have started the Saints defense or Drew Brees. So congrats on your opponent making that mistake.
Yeah, Robinson being questionable, strong defense with Chicago. There's a lot of issues there, I think, and he hasn't practiced all week. Cooper Kupp, Seattle's pass defense has been better since week 9. Yeah. Makes me very nervous with Myles Gaskin. I'd like to think they're going to give him the full workload, but the way that Ahmed has played, maybe they split, maybe they don't. I don't know. No Rojo. Fournette is the smash start amongst this group to me.
These are all words I like to hear, boys.
Yeah.
I just hope you're right tomorrow.
I just real quick, we had in my main, league, my longest running league, we had a guy who drafted Fournette in the early second round this season, and we gave him so much crap.
Watch him be a league winner now.
Luckily, he's not in the. I made it to the championship in that one. Fortunately, he is not, and I remind him every week. It's nice.
Fournette in the second round. Jeez.
What kind of idiot wastes their second round pick? Oh wait, Gardner Minshew in the first.
I was gonna say, Ryan.
For the record, though, Leonard Fournette is a top 36 running back in PPR. Just for what it is.
That is actually impressive. It's
incredible when you think about the small workload, because they loved Ronald Jones, and I'm not saying they shouldn't have. That is, I don't even know that I want to use the word that it's impressive. It's more disgusting for the fantasy running back landscape. So
yeah, I'm just throwing that out there because that's what convinced me to take him in a startup dynasty draft, is that he actually still has skill. He's just fat. That's the only thing.
And again, don't take any of this disparagement towards Leonard Fournette in week 16 of 2020. He is a smash
play. Smash play. Yep. All right.
All right. Biohazard didn't think about Rivera having a plan for more. Flex, Gibson, Hunt, Bernard, or more.
If Antonio Gibson plays, it's Antonio Gibson.
Absolutely.
But let's just go on the assumption Gibson isn't
But
playing.
if he doesn't play,
Kareem Hunt.
See, God, this sucks because Gio Bernard has the best matchup.
That's the thing
by far. But he feels like such a trap this week, and it scares me. I mean, Hunt does play the Jets, so there's at least that. So I think that's the best combination of safe for high upside.
And this feels like one of those games where the Browns are going to be able to rush for 3 to 4 touchdowns, and Hunt is likely to get one and could even pop one through the air against that defense.
Yeah.
So.
My biggest thing with Gibson and Ryan, I know we've talked about this before with a lot of the Twitter doctors and PTs and stuff. Like, so many of them are kind of like, Gibson has a high re-injury level, so I would shy away from him. I just kind of feel like that Washington has a reason to keep playing, and they're not going to jeopardize rushing him in. Like, this isn't Mike Shanahan trotting out Robert Griffin. This is a young running back that they need to value going forward. Yes, they've stomached not having him in with McKissick, so they don't need to rush him back. And against Carolina and a bad run defense, McKissick can do just fine. Yeah. So I don't think that Gibson would play if he wasn't healthy enough to play, is kind of the point that I'm getting at. So if he plays, I would go Gibson. But again, if you're nervous about the re-injury because of what is going on, like with some of the Twitter doctors, maybe you follow, maybe you don't. Hunt, I think, is a safe play, but also has the upside as well.
There was one note I wanted to make on Gio that was interesting. So I was a huge advocate for Gio as a handcuff partway through the season. So on November 4th, I was just looking this up. I tweeted out, and there were 6 games that Joe Mixon had missed in his career. During that time, Gio averaged 18 fantasy points per game and never went below 11.8 prior to November 4th. And then after that, the next 5 games, 6.7 points, 7.5, 5.9, 3.9, 0.8.
You jinxed him, Jeff.
I jinxed him. And then he had a good week last week, as we all know. So he's a tough player. I'd still go like what you guys were saying, Gibson and then Hunt and then Gio. But I just wanted to bring that up because Gio seemed like a super easy smash play the past month, and he's been disappointing outside of last week.
It's actually a really good point because you bring up he was disappointing for this previous month, and then nobody expected it this past week, but we've all given into the fluke that is a division game. Cincinnati wanted to win that game. That was Cincinnati's Super Bowl. I think we can all say that. Mm-hmm. That's all they cared about was winning. So you saw a different Cincinnati team. You saw a quarterback laughing and smiling for the entire game, even when he's getting sacked. Like, it was just a weird sort of a game. And you may not see that against Houston. And we kind of touched on this briefly on Wednesday, and I have no background on this whatsoever, but I just have this feeling you're going to see Travion Williams and Samaje Perine a ton because it is a bad rushing defense. They know what they have of Gio. Joe Mixon and Gio are the guys. But Samaje and Travion could easily be gone next year. They maybe only one of them because you might not keep both, and they might be playing for their own job. You could see Gio not play much, not to mention, and I brought this up in one of my articles this week, one fumble dropped Gio down to a 26% snap percentage, and that's the kind of thing you don't want on a player you're playing on a championship. That one mistake ends their day.
Real quick before we move on, just so this gives us any perspective for Jacksonville players. Mike Glennon is the starting quarterback Sunday against the Chicago Bears.
Rest in peace, Gardner.
Yeah, R.I.P. Gardner. So just so everyone knows, moving forward,
hey, Tyler Eifert might have some value this week.
Tyler Eifert may have value. So we can move on to the next question, but I just wanted to throw that in there for any Jaguars that pop up. Yep, Schefter just tweeted it. So
sweet. Thank you.
Is Hockenson or Logan Thomas a better start this week in full PPR? We'll break that down first before we get to the second half. Let's start with Jeff, because I feel like Jeff is getting railroaded by you three.
Oh, I think Jeff's doing great.
Jeff's doing a great job. What are you talking about?
Thank you. I keep repeating this, and I'm beating a dead horse, but I'd go with Hockenson. I think he's pretty consistent throughout the season, and I think he's the better overall talent. I'd stick with Hockenson, and Joshua had made a comment earlier. It's like, dance with the girl you brought to the party. And I think that's the theory in the championship. I probably butchered that phrase, but the concept applies.
I never heard it before, but I appreciated
I love it. It makes sense. It completely makes sense. I have Thomas. Yeah, I have Thomas as a downside. That's just simply because me thinking that Dwayne Haskins isn't going to play. If Haskins plays, I think you go Logan Thomas because he fed Logan Thomas last week. So that's the only caveat. But in any other scenario, TJ Hawkinson is your starter.
My big thing is I don't know if Terry McLaurin's playing. I can't say this for a fact, but I don't think that any doubtful player has played this season. Doubtful is the same as out, basically. Who else are they going to throw to?
Yeah, I feel like at that point you almost have to dial up Thomas. It's full PPR. He's going to get peppered with targets.
And Tampa Bay's linebackers and safeties. Yeah, believe me.
Steven Sims Jr., the Week 16 breakout. He's going to do it 2 years in a row.
There you go. I'd say twice in a row. Not to mention Tampa Bay's linebackers and safeties could match up with Hawkinson.
Oh, yeah. Antoine Winfield's having a great year. So that's definitely it.
I'd go Thomas, by the way.
I would too.
All right. In the second half of this question, is he crazy are they crazy? I'm not sure. For starting Mayfield over Tanny?
No, you are not
crazy.
Even
a little bit.
No.
Mayfield's got a smash matchup. They're talking about snow up in Green Bay. I would.
That's crazy.
I wouldn't feel comfortable. Yeah, no, right. I don't know that I'd be comfortable with Tannehill when you can just run the ball during the snow and against a really bad run defense. So
I grew up in Northeast Ohio. I cannot express to you what the Browns are playing for this week. So I am excited to see what the Browns might do to the Jets this week. So.
Yeah,
with the winter coming too, and Derrick Henry just being an absolute beast.
Yeah,
I get worried about the other players. You know, if they can run the ball and win, and he's a cheat code. You know, I get worried about all the other players in Tannehill on the Tennessee Titans.
That's a very good point.
Yep,
it is just going to be meh tomorrow. I'm playing him, so that's my thoughts on
so
that.
You're cursing him. I got you. Okay.
No. I'm not cursing him because I don't want him to get hurt or anything. I just want him to be meh.
Faith, you know what happens? You bet the over on his rushing yards and it lessens the blow.
Yeah, I don't bet, Joe.
I won $50 and lessened the blow last week, so.
Got
right.
League entry feedback.
Yep.
Right.
Would you suggest Funyun Tunyon over Hawkinson?
I actually would not. That's
Joe apparently would.
Too far for me this week.
Yes.
Jeff, what do you think?
Those are close. Tanyon's been awesome. What does he have? 10 touchdowns on the season?
Yep.
Feels like it.
Yeah. So I think, and he got snubbed from the Pro Bowl. There's a lot of people that were mad about that. I think I'd lean Hawkinson again. I think he's a better talent, but I think Hawkinson has a safer floor. Tanyan has a higher upside with the touchdown opportunities.
I was about to say the same thing. I feel like if you need to bank on a touchdown, Tunyon's your guy. Hawkinson probably a little bit more consistent, with Marvin Jones there and really nobody else. Yeah. So
I'm so
all right. Sean is convinced he asked this before, but who has the higher upside, the Browns D or the Dolphins D this week?
Dolphins.
I think anytime you go against Adam Gase, I mean,
Sean did ask this, and we had the same argument on Wednesday because I think it's the Browns.
Yeah, I'm with the Browns too.
Okay, so that's 3-1, Browns to Dolphins.
It was 3-1 when I said bench Justin Herbert, but Sean, I'll give you my I'll give you my analysis here. If your league gives you premiums on sacks, it's the Browns, and that's not even a competition. If they don't, Miami has a better chance of scoring a defensive or special teams touchdown than the Browns do. Miami has a better returner, and they have converted more turnovers into touchdowns.
That's fair.
So that's my reasoning for the Dolphins. If you get sack premiums, like if you get 2 or 3 points for a sack, Browns defense not even close. Darnold's going to get sacked 5 times.
I like that caveat. I'm okay with it, Joe.
I like the word caveat.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing with choosing defenses every week. Every league has very different scoring.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I give sack premiums in my league. It's 3 points for a defensive sack. So
yeah.
See, I think I give 2 for sacks.
You know how you fix that? You either A, don't play defenses, or B, play IDP.
IDP. Yeah, an IDP should get
I
6
thought you would
points
like
per
that,
sack.
Joe. I thought
6
you would like
points per
that.
sack. IDP is the way to go, ladies and gentlemen. Ask Ryan and Faith how much fun it has been.
IDP is
It
fun.
actually is.
Team defense is also fun.
Is this your first season doing IDP? I've never done that. I'm curious to try that out.
It
Jeff,
was my
welcome,
first
buddy.
season doing IDP. I was in an all IDP league. We didn't have an offense at all. It was weird. It was new. I made actually somebody who, other than Joe, I saw Joe's help often, but there's another guy on Twitter who's big on IDP, Chris Robin, who I was like, I'm gonna make you co-commission or co-own this team with me because I have no idea what I'm doing.
I love it.
I made the playoffs, but I was bounced in the first round, like handedly. But it was fun.
Okay.
The main thing, Jeff, it changes the draft like crazy because you will see guys in the 7th, 8th, 9th round on offense that would never be there in a regular draft because people start messing around with IDPs.
Yeah.
So
Just for the record, Jeff, I have Bobby Wagner as a linebacker in one of my leagues. He is a top 10 scorer in that league.
Wow.
That's how much fun IDPs are.
Yeah, it changes everything quite a bit.
I respect it. I mean, one thing I'll admit myself is like I know a lot more of the offensive players, and there's a lot of defensive guys that deserve a lot of respect. And I know I tweeted this out a couple of weeks ago, but there was someone on the Cardinals that had like 5 sacks.
Yeah, Hassan Reddick.
And there was a game that was just unfathomable, and me myself, and embarrassingly don't know all those players. And I saw that stat, and I was like, that is incredibly impressive. Best defensive game of the season, and maybe I'll try IDP next year. I like it.
Yeah, there was an all IDP league I played in. Sorry, just quick before we get to the next question. The guy actually benched Joey Bosa. I don't know if he actually said sign up that week, but Joey Bosa had 75 points on his bench.
Oh,
good Lord.
That's how much fun IDPs are, ladies and gentlemen. Joey Bosa can score the most points ever in a fantasy football game this season.
That's painful.
Welcome to the show, Joey Bosa. He had like 4 TFLs, 3 sacks, 3 pass deflections, and like 5 solos. Stat sheet stuffer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Get the Bosa boys.
Also, congratulations, Ryan, on making the championships in the 4 Friends League.
Thank you.
I'm sad that we couldn't go head to head, but yet.
I say hopefully I can bring home some money for the Women's Sports Foundation, friend of the show.
Yeah,
bring it home for Team Club Fantasy. That's important too.
Do for the kids.
Exactly. Do it,
right.
Ryan. Alexa wants to know which Niners running back to start.
JWJ.
Okay, hold on. We're gonna go around the room. We're gonna start with Jeff.
Faith, just do a 1, 2, 3 because it's consensus. It's 100% consensus.
I just said his initials instead of his name. It's
1, 2, 3.
Jeff
Wilson Jr. There you go. It's that simple.
You guys need to work on your synchronization.
We do.
Though.
It's fine. We all said it. Yeah, we talked about it quickly earlier. Jeff Wilson Jr. Yeah, that's not even a question.
All right, in a full PPR, Kittle, who is back this week, Godwin or Drake? We'll take that chunk first.
Godwin.
I'd go Godwin. Yeah,
I would go Godwin as well. But I'm also very curious who you're playing at tight end if you're willing to put Kittle in your flex.
Great question.
That's a great point.
Okay. Are you starting Hurts or Rodgers?
Hurts.
Yeah, Hurts for the rushing upside. It's so
right
hard.
Now, there's only 2 quarterbacks that I am confidently starting over Jalen Hurts, and that's Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers.
Ooh, good.
Wow.
I look, they both have great matchups, and Rodgers is at home in Lambeau where he smacks. But Hurts is playing
that's the one guy where weather does not matter to me.
Yeah. He's been doing it for 13 years.
And Tennessee's defense is god awful.
Hurts,
whatever you think Hurts is going to do rushing, Rodgers is going to do that via touchdowns.
All right, Joe, go.
Hurts is playing the 2nd worst defense of all time. So just Jalen.
The Dallas Cowboys.
I think it's worth saying too,
honestly, I don't know that there's a wrong answer here. There's really
there isn't. You're gonna be happy either way. They're both gonna be top 5, top 7 quarterbacks. So whichever team you like more, just pick that guy because you're gonna have a good day.
I think Hurts also has a higher upside. I mean, if someone's going to get 40 points, it's going to be Hurts.
Yeah.
Like Rodgers could certainly break the 30 mark, barrier or something like that. So I think Rodgers is a little safer. And in Josh, you had said this earlier, I'm a big believer in situationally dependent. And I know that can come off as weak, but it's, it's all probabilities with these guys. So you got to look at the floor and the ceiling and try to figure out what you need to do versus your opponent.
And again, it's like, hey, I just went against Alvin Kamara. I need maximum upside. I might probably go Hurts in that instance.
There you go.
Yeah.
But if I'm not playing Derrick Henry or Alvin Kamara, I can live with playing Rodgers if Hurts does blow up. That's what I mean by lineups and situations. And things of that nature.
Either way, you're happy. Either way, you're happy. Let's move on there. Yeah.
All right. Browns or the Rams D?
Browns. The Rams forgot how to play football.
Anybody else?
Again, I think it boils down to scoring settings. I mean, obviously, we don't know what those are. I think both have
This
the
one
ability
does
to
not.
get sacks.
This one does not.
You know.
They both have the ability to get sacks, which you brought up, and the Browns have a better chance of bringing back a turnover.
Yeah, I mean, I said this on Wednesday's show. Wilson, his last 3 games against the Rams in Seattle, 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He's going to get sacked, but he's also going to score points.
I think he'll do better about protecting the ball as well.
Yeah. Wilson's going to torch them.
And then last one in this question, Carlson or Greg the Leg?
No, that's all you, Joe.
Woo! To me!
Kickers matter.
I don't mess with kickers. Sorry.
Josh loves kickers, everybody.
All right, Monier. Here's how I pick my kickers. First thing, are they home? Both of these guys are at home. 2, are they in a dome? You guessed it. Both of these guys are in a dome. And who's had the better season? Daniel Carlson's had the better season. Zerline will either kick 5 for 5 or 2 for 7, and there's no in between.
Yeah. So bad.
They're both going to have the same amount of opportunity, in my opinion. But I've said it before, John Gruden has no balls, and he loves kicking 20-yard field goals. So Daniel Carlson's going to see easier cheap shots than Greg Zuerlein is. They both have huge legs. They each can easily kick a 55-yard field goal. I like Daniel Carlson.
Okay, you answered my question because I don't know enough about Carlson. I was going to say, is there any caveat if there is bonuses for long field goals? But apparently Carlson can hit them.
He has a leg. Yeah, Carlson has a leg. Greg Zuerlein's leg is bigger, but it's not going to matter when they're both sitting at 50.
All that matters is 50. Exactly.
Jeff, did you have anything to add?
I'm not a big kicker guy.
All right, here we go. It's to me. Woo!
High five, Jeff.
Thanks for smacking me in the head, both of you.
Sorry, Faith, you're in the way.
Here we go.
You're in the way.
Lee wants to say thanks for a great season. He wants to know, what are the ethics about taunting your opponent from last week who has Kamara? Because if I recall correctly,
there are no rules against
somebody
to
make the championship who has Kamara on their team.
What's funny is my league right now is doing it in reverse because I'm playing the guy who beat Kamara last week, and my entire league just keeps going, good thing you're not playing Darren. Darren is the guy with Kamara. So Darren's just sitting there playing for 3rd place with 56 points from one player. So they're not taking direct shots at him, but they just keep reminding him that he's not in the championship. So.
Passive-aggressive reminders. I like it.
My favorite thing to do for that is like play dumb. It's like, hey, I didn't see who made it to the championship. You know, how is it?
How'd you do it?
Last weekend. How's everything going?
Yeah.
All right, in a standard league, Miles Eckler or
Antonio Gibson. This question may get answered
Wait
itself.
a second.
Yep. Miles Sanders, Austin Eckler, or Antonio Gibson. You had it. This question may answer itself, Lee, because Antonio Gibson may not play. So I'll go, if Gibson plays, I think it's Sanders and Gibson. But obviously, if Gibson doesn't play, then it's,
Oh, I don't know that I could bench Eckler this week with Hunter Henry out.
The exact same.
Okay.
Thing. No, Eckler.
I think I'm anti-questionable guy, so I would go Sanders and Eckler regardless. I am actually not big on playing Antonio Gibson this week. I put him in one DFS lineup just to make myself feel good. I will not start him in any championship matchup.
Yeah, okay. I have Gibson in 1 league, 2 leagues actually, both of which I'm in the championship, and he's not sniffing my lineup. And actually, in one of those, I am starting both Eckler and Sanders over him. So
yeah, these are 3 guys that we've been huge on this.
Granted, I'm in a PPR versus standard, so I will say it's standard. You could, I think, make the argument of Gibson over Eckler.
That's the only reason. This is PPR. It's not even a question. It's Eckler.
Yeah.
What do you got, Jeff?
Yeah, I like Eckler too. And I'm more confident starting Gibson, I guess, than what you guys are. I think they're all great plays. I think that the risk that Hurts runs a few in instead of Sanders, makes him be my third option. Now, that being said, I mean, he can cast patches and he's still a good play, but I'd go Eckler and Gibson if Gibson's healthy.
They're just not targeting Sanders in the backfield, which I just don't understand considering
my mind.
two guys last year who had over 50 catches and averaged over 10 yards per reception. It baffles me.
He's
Absolutely.
also the only skilled talent on that team that catches a football. So
yeah. So
good point.
Yep.
All right. Gabe says Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Gabe. Merry first Christmas to
Christmas as
Mason.
a daddy. So congratulations, Gabe.
Yes, Mason's first Christmas, little cutie. He also is in Cleveland area, is a huge Browns fan, and says Browns are winning the North and the Baker over Ryan again, or are we thinking the Browns will run the ball a lot more this week?
Baker over Matt Ryan.
Baker, yeah.
Matt Ryan could be the lowest scoring quarterback this week. Outdoors in Kansas City.
I'll throw that out there.
Okay, both Matt Stafford. Yeah, both Matt.
Joe did say could be.
Both Matt Stafford and Matt Ryan will be the two lowest scoring quarterbacks this week. Yeah, Matt Ryan outdoors in Kansas City. He's a dome quarterback, so that's not going to go over well. Baker plays in Cleveland where the wind whips 50 miles an hour. He'll be fine in New York.
Yep.
And the Browns will run the ball a lot, but Baker's still going to get his.
And he's been great away from Cleveland.
Yep.
So.
Everybody does well away from Cleveland.
Oh, I will point this out before
I love Cleveland.
Before Jeff gives his answer, but Matt Ryan's two best games this year, where he had 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions,
outdoors,
were both on the road, but they were in domes.
Oh,
and they were against Dallas and Minnesota, two very, very bad pass defense.
Yeah.
Kansas City is not a bad pass defense.
So it still stands. He's a dome quarterback. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you for
it's very rare where I give Joe props without actually giving Joe props by name. So
notice how I didn't have to look at stats to know that Matt Ryan's a bad quarterback. Just notice that.
Actually, when you look at his home away splits, he has more touchdown passes on the road than at home.
Yeah, because he has 8 of them in a dome. Thank you, Jeff. What do you got?
So I'm the same as you guys. I think you got to go Baker. He's got a good matchup. And Matt Ryan has been bad for fantasy when Julio's been out. So while he's a pretty good real life QB, I don't think you can trust him in the championship without Julio.
Definitely not.
Good point.
All right, pick 3 in a PPR: Carson, Henderson, Jeff Wilson, Myles Gaskin, or
Bell.
I think the last 3: Wilson, Gaskin, and Bell.
They have the best matchups. They definitely have the best matchups. I mean, Henderson, I think his first big game this year was against Seattle, if I'm not mistaken.
Akers. Hold on. Akers is out, correct?
Akers is out, yeah. So
that may change it.
Yeah, I'm not starting Gaskin. I'm definitely starting Jeff Wilson.
Wilson and Bell to me are the easy ones.
Absolutely. I think I'd probably go Carson over Gaskin. And both of them are in situations where they could get touches stolen. I like Carson as a player better, and so I'd go with them. But I don't blame anyone if they want to go Gaskin. He's been pretty productive, and I'm just worried about Ahmed, potentially stealing touches. We don't know what's going to happen.
I think, but that's the thing, though. All 3 of these guys are in timeshares. Carson right now is yielding to Hyde. Henderson will inevitably yield to Malcolm Brown with Akers out.
Yep.
When with Gaskin, you got to worry about Ahmed. So at that point, it becomes, who do you personally trust more? Gaskin, I know, has the better matchup. Carson, to me, is the better talent.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, I would lean on the talent side, and I would go Carson with Wilson and Bell.
Carson seems to have the easiest path to volume out of all of these guys.
I agree.
So the moral of the story here is Jeff Wilson and Le'Veon Bell are must starts.
Yep.
And take your pick.
And take your pick. All these guys are, like they said, in situations where they're going to get carries stolen from them. The best matchup is probably Myles Gaskin.
Yeah.
But
if you trust Gaskin,
go with him.
Go with him. I will say that.
It's not even close. Yeah. It's not even close. The Raiders have a terrible run defense. So Gaskin has the best matchup out of all of them. So my gut said Gaskin. So I would go there.
Okay.
I don't hate it. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I'm playing Gaskin in one of my championships, to be fair.
There you go. All right.
Oh, damn.
since y'all just talked about Browns running backs possibly getting 3 or 4 touchdowns this week, apparently the question is Chubb here. So pick 3 in a full PPR. Derek Henry, David Montgomery,
How the hell do you have all of these guys?
Chubb. I was like, what is that noise?
Dude, I hope this is a dynasty league. How do you have who let you get all these 4 running backs? Who did this to you?
Well, to be fair, David Montgomery was probably a 6th-round pick.
Yeah, but Josh Eckler and Chubb, how do you get all 3 of those with Derrick Henry?
There's a chance that he could have gotten Eckler in a trade.
Sure, that's fair. That's fair.
And then Henry and Chubb were his first 2 picks.
Still, who allowed this?
Leagues with no vetoes. Bravo.
It's interesting. Like I will say, because I have an opinion about this, but I do want to start in one of my keeper leagues, the one where I was making fun of my friend for taking Fournette. We do pick trading. So like for me, I'm in the championship. I sacrifice next season.
You might have had a bunch of picks. Yeah.
So if you look at it isolated, it's not the redraft type of teams. For me, for this question, I mean, you can't sit Derrick Henry. So it's obviously Henry.
Correct.
You can't sit Chubb. I'd go with Montgomery as the third.
Yeah, you can't sit Montgomery right now.
Yeah, he's so hard.
He's been awesome. And I was looking at the fantasy playoffs from last season, and I had done an article about 25 RB stats, and there were 6 running backs that had 20-plus points twice over weeks 14 to 16 last season. This season, there have been 2 that have already eclipsed that between weeks 14 and 15, and it's Henry and Montgomery. And I think you have to, they're heating up. I think you have to ride it out and plug them in.
I'm pretty sure since the game against Green Bay, David Montgomery has not scored less than 20 points. So he's scored 20 points the last 4 or 5 weeks. Dude's on fire. It is going to suck to bench Austin Eckler. But you need to go Derek. I assume it's...
You know what, though? The touchdown upside of all those other 3 guys completely outweighs the PPR upside of Eckler to me.
Sure. Definitely.
That's
definitely.
good.
And 2, Montgomery is going to get catches in the backfield, out of the backfield as well. So
Chubb's actually been being used more in the receiving game the last couple weeks.
He really has.
Yeah, you never know when Kareem Hunt can come back in.
Yeah,
so that thing is you're guaranteed catches from Montgomery out of the backfield. Derrick Henry is never going to catch a pass. But yeah, I think it's going to suck to sit Eckler. But Josh, you bring it up the touchdown upside with the other 2 or the other 3 guys. Yeah,
It pains me to agree, but you bench Austin Eckler.
Yeah, it's painful.
All right.
The next position in that league to get a 4th flex. That's what you need.
Yeah. Next one.
Tight end PPR, Tunyon or Fant?
Fant.
Yeah, Noah Fant. Tight end 3 for me this week.
Drew Lock only throws to tight ends. Noah Fant.
I go Fant. Yeah.
Tunyon, I think, is a safer play, but Fant definitely.
Tunyon has a bigger touchdown upside.
Yeah.
Lucius Berenzis. What a name. Oh, my God.
Need a 1 wide receiver, Godwin, Metcalf, or Davis.
If it's PPR, it's Godwin. If it's standard, it's Metcalf.
I'd go Metcalf either way. I mean, the guy's just a freak. This is where I try to look at the high level. And if you lose because you sit DK Metcalf, you're going to feel real bad. I mean, Godwin is very, very talented as well, but it's Metcalf for me either way.
It's Godwin for me.
Here's what I know. If Metcalf explodes and he's on my bench, I'm gonna be breaking shit.
Yeah.
So I would much rather die with Metcalf in my lineup than die with him on my bench. I know the matchup is tougher, and Godwin, again, we've talked about it. I think he has a very safe floor this week, but we also don't know how involved Evans is going to be, who's chasing his 7th straight 1,000-yard season, or how involved Antonio Brown is going to be, who's been one of the more targeted guys on that offense. So for me, I'm going to go with Metcalf even against Jalen Ramsey, who Joe likes to proclaim is still the most overrated corner in the NFL.
Yeah, because everyone thinks he's the best cornerback to ever live. There's a reason he's overrated.
Along with every other corner in the NFL.
No. Every other corner in the NFL is just bad. Jalen Ramsey's overrated. I'm not saying Ramsey isn't good. Everyone just thinks Jalen Ramsey's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Like, he can be beat. And Metcalf beat him twice on 2 routes that Wilson overthrew. Take that for what it will. And also, Josh already brought up Russell Wilson torches the Rams in Seattle. So, I think you're good either way. I just think if it's PPR, you go Godwin because he's going to get you more receptions. And if it's standard, it's not even a contest. It's DK Metcalf because he's going to get you the deep balls.
Yep.
That's the only thing I bring
I'm
up there.
with that.
Yeah. Either way, you're fine with Metcalf though. Go ahead, Faith.
Pick a tight end, Andrews or Thomas. Jeff, go.
I'm going to go Andrews. I think that Thomas has been great. Yeah, I think Thomas is a good play. You know, it's the Barfy tight end league. There's going to be a few guys that you start every week and then some guys that are in and out. I think Thomas is a good play, but Andrews was drafted higher. He's the higher talent. They specifically try to throw it to him in the end zone. So even if he only has a few targets, I think there's a high probability that he gets a red zone target. I'm going Andrews. And in one league, I have Andrews. I'm starting over Tunyon. And I would do the same here.
Yeah.
Ryan, go.
Andrews.
Joe.
Yeah, I'll go Andrews as well.
Josh.
I think this is whether it's PPR or standard. If it's PPR, I think I would lean Thomas. If it's standard, give me the touchdown upside with Andrews.
That's
There you
fair.
go.
That's fair.
All right.
That's fair.
Good morning, Trey.
Hi, Trey.
Hey, Trey.
In
How
a
you
full
be living?
PPR, pick 3 and win him the ship. And if
Let's go.
you pick wrong, then it's on you. Melvin Gordon, Marvin Jones, DJ Moore, Godwin Jacobs, or Swift. Thanks and happy
Last
holidays.
three.
If we pick wrong, I'll send you like a $5 Dunkin' Donuts gift card.
For what it's worth, Philip Lindsay's out. Just want to throw that out there for you guys. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I think we're all going to rule out DJ Moore just because what we've been talking about. So we want to take that name off the list. Damn. Okay, so I think out of all these, we'll all say Chris Godwin because we've already been talking up about Chris Godwin. So there's one for you. That's a definite.
Swift is a definite for me. I think Swift is a smash play.
I'm with you on that one. Tampa Bay sucks covering running backs.
I would go Swift, and then with Lindsay being out, I would probably go Melvin Gordon because he has the best matchup. Also, I mean, we say revenge game, but that hasn't been a thing this year. But I would probably go Godwin, Swift, and Melvin Gordon. I don't like Marvin Jones's matchup. And I hate Josh Jacobs' matchup against Miami.
I agree, especially full PPR, because as we mentioned all year, Jacobs just doesn't get involved in the passing game enough.
Nope.
I like Marvin Jones this week for the record. Over the last 4 weeks, the Bucs have allowed the most fantasy points per game to wide receivers, including 5 touchdowns in 3 games.
Wasn't one of them Tyreek Hill, though?
Yeah, that's skewed.
That kind of skews the stat. I know.
I'm just pulling the stats, bro.
John, I'm not saying that Tampa has a good secondary by any means. I'm just saying one of those games was Tyreek Hill.
I mean, one of the games the Jets gave up the most points to tight ends was Darren Waller. That doesn't mean they're not bad against the tight end.
That's true.
You know?
Look, I don't think, and I say Jones is a bad matchup. I don't think he has a terrible matchup. I just don't want to bank on Marvin Jones over a guy like Melvin Gordon or DeAndre Swift.
Marvin Jones has been a top 12 wide receiver this season. I mean, he's been that good.
Marvin Jones has been a top 12 receiver.
I'm looking it up.
There's no way. There's no way.
Since Kenny Golladay went down, yes.
Top 12. Kenny Galladay's been out since week 1.
No, he hasn't been out since week
1. He's wide receiver 25 right now, but I can look it up since Golladay was out too.
That was week 8, I believe.
What? No, there's
no Kenny Golladay since week 8. Let me go look.
Let's see, because this is interesting. Yeah,
Michael says that he needs 60 from Derrick Henry. I'm playing Derrick Henry because earlier he mentioned that his opponent had Alvin Kamara. So since in this, I have Alvin.
Since week 8. Sorry to interrupt, Faith. Marvin Jones, wide receiver 6.
Holy shit!
Sorry to interrupt, but I did it anyway.
But I was just looking at the past 6 games for Marvin Jones, and it's super high, super low. So from week 10 on, he finishes the number 7 wide receiver. Then 49, 42, number 5, number 56, and then number 4.
So he's the
upside.
So where's Godwin in that mix, though? Godwin's ceiling has been set this year.
So he's been the Amari Cooper of the second half of the season. Yeah. I hate Amari Cooper. Also, I had Marvin Jones as a sleeper in the offseason, so I am more than happy that this is happening.
That's a good stat pool, though, Josh.
It's a great stat
he
poll.
was that good.
Listen, Josh, I'm mad that is actually a true stat, but I'm also happy because I said Marvin Jones was a sleeper in the offseason because he was being taken as a wide receiver 5, which I thought was, criminally underrated. So I'm happy. I'm happy that I could say at the end of the season I was right about Marvin Jones. But
yeah, I like Swift as the underrated guy with the tough matchup because look, we know that Tampa Bay can stuff the run, but they suck at receiving backs, and they use Swift that way. If he gets a cheap rushing touchdown, his day is made. Jacobs, he needs touchdowns to be good.
yes.
Yep.
And that Miami defense is very underrated.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
Jacobs worries me a little bit. If you want to run with Jacobs, I get it. He's been a top guy overall this year, but it's been very hit or miss week in and week out. Gordon and Jones, for me, are the guys. Godwin, I think, is a safe play, and so is Swift. So if you want to go Swift over Godwin, I get it. If you want to go Godwin over Swift, I get that too.
There you go. That's fair.
Okay, this is my last question
Okay.
before I have to leave,
Okay.
lest I face the guilt of my mother,
The
Wrath
hellfire.
of Mama Faith.
Mama Faith. Interesting. All right. I feel like I know the answer to this one, but we're gonna ask it anyway. Chris Carson, Antonio Brown, or Jeff Wilson Jr.
Here we go.
What?
1, 2, 3.
I don't like
All right.
Hold on. 1, 2, 3.
Jeff
Wilson
Wilson
Jr. There we go. Yeah, Johnny, if you
I could have answered that question.
Johnny, if you joined late, we've been talking up Jeff Wilson Jr. He gets the carries, he gets the goal line carries. He's been being utilized more in the passing game. Jeff Wilson, division matchup, Jeff Wilson.
Yep.
Okay, I lied. My mom's still on the phone, so.
All right.
All right, keep it going, Faith.
So, Hugh Lee was going to start Lamar, but Hurts is currently available. Should he grab him and start him? He's currently projected higher at 55%. Projected points mean nothing. And he also has Russell Wilson, if that makes a difference with floor ceiling talk.
First of all, you have to get Hurts off of free agency lest your opponent
That's
grabs
what I was
him.
going to say.
Yeah, like drop like the fourth running back on your roster and just pick up Hurts.
Drop Russ. He'll be on waivers. Your opponent can't grab him and use him against you because you're starting
that's
Lamar
true.
or Hurts. You're not starting Russ. So
It's
Okay,
gonna
You
be-
just said drop Russell Wilson.
Right?
I would
you shouldn't have Lamar and Russ. That's a great pull by Lee to begin with. So
I would probably go Hurts.
I've made this decision in leagues. I am starting Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. It's just so they both have the rushing upside, right? Who's the better passer? Jalen Hurts by a mile.
Right now it hurts.
Like-
Absolutely.
By a mile. So Jalen Hurts.
So there you go, Lee. Hurry up.
Yeah, go get Hurts
and
right
go
now. I don't know.
get
Now.
Hurts.
Unless
Now.
your opponent has Mahomes, I can't imagine why Hurts is out there. So
It was 2 weeks ago, I think I picked up Jalen Hurts off of waivers for zero money. I was very excited.
Love it.
yeah.
I was going to say too, like I think one of the big strategies that you brought up, Ryan, is go check your waivers now if you haven't already, and just pick up players that could potentially go into your other opponent's lineup. Like we had Tony Pollard was on waivers, and
Yes.
I don't need him, but I just picked him up just in case my
the exact
teammate,
same thing.
had someone. Exactly, and don't forget that even if someone doesn't have an injury designation, they could still get COVID last minute, so that does still exist.
And on that same point that Jeff's making, when you're deciding who to drop positions where your opponent isn't going to start them. My opponent is stacked at wide receiver in one of my championships. So I started dropping my 4th and 5th wide receivers because I knew he wasn't going to go add them if I needed to steal them back on Sunday. So
Yep.
Use free agency as your big bench.
Yes.
Quick question. Oh my
No.
goodness, this is what I do. Because you guys are like making me nervous now about free agency and who Josh Brickner might pick up before tomorrow. Rude.
He hasn't been very active, so I wouldn't worry.
Faith.
Well, his
Faith.
team is stacked.
Hold on. Time out. Faith, you got 56 from Kamara. You're fine. You are fine. Don't worry about it.
Joe,
You're fine.
well, you
He does
from
have Derrick Henry.
earlier. I want a curb stop.
Faith, you got 56 from one player. That's kicking someone in the nuts repeatedly for 24 straight hours. You're fine.
I just imagine though that gif of like the guys just like standing there and just like taking it like repeatedly. Like that's exactly what you just
I actually think I saw that yesterday in regards to the Kamara game. So.
Literally, it's the equivalent of kicking someone in the nuts for a full day. You're fine. Alvin Kamara made history.
Yeah.
He is one of 3 people that have scored 6 touchdowns in a game. Gale Sayers is one of them. He's in the same conversation as Gale Sayers. Like,
but I want all
and Gale Sayers didn't do it in championship week.
Yeah. Gale Sayers did it before the internet was a thing. So, yeah.
Anyway,
And this game is going to go down in legend because it was week 16.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yep. All right, next one.
would you place real quick?
No, this is
you
Faith.
place, This is me. Would you place Jalen Reagor above Ayuk, Hill, Metcalf, or
Reagor shouldn't even be considered right now.
Yeah, no.
As much as I hate to say it.
Yeah, with
I
Djax
will
back.
leave him there.
Yeah.
Definitely no. Definitely no.
All right, Kittle on a snap count or Hawkinson?
That's the debate right now when we're talking about whether or not you can trust Kittle. Because do you go with a guy with a safe floor like Hawkinson or George freaking Kittle?
Hawkinson and Fant, we've talked about, are the only other 2 guys that could possibly contend to be in the top 5 for tight ends next season. So if there's going to be 2 guys that you could contemplate playing over Kittle, it's Hawkinson and Fant.
Not to mention, it's CJ Beathard.
Beathard definitely worries me.
Listen, I hate that notion because Beathard and Nick Mullins both love throwing to the tight end. They love it. So I hate that notion when they bring up the backup.
Suck.
They still suck.
Yeah, exactly.
But right, we've talked about it. Beathard could throw for 200 yards and 4 interceptions, but 100 of those could go to George Kittle. That's the thing, is they love throwing to the tight end position. So the backup quarterback doesn't worry me. What worries me is the best safety in the league on the opposite side, Budda Baker. Yes, Hawkinson's playing arguably the second best young safety in Antoine Winfield behind Jeremy Chin in Carolina. Hawkinson is still going to have a good day. I don't like Kittle on a snap count. I don't like it.
And this is the thing that I'm trying to get. Like, why are they talking about a snap count when Kyle Shanahan's sitting here saying that he's the healthiest guy on the damn team?
Well, I mean, when you're the healthiest guy on a team that's injury-ridden, how healthy are you really? That's like saying you're the best defensive back in Philly when Philly hasn't had a secondary since Asante Samuel.
I mean, it goes back to so many things, though. Why are they bringing him back in a season that doesn't matter? Like, that's the biggest problem for me. And I understand you have to cater to your players, but there's a point where you're like, no, bro. Like, we do not need you with CJ Beathard.
Yeah, because, I mean, what happens if he, like blows out a knee?
Now you lost him next year.
Misses all of 2021.
Yep.
I want to know what Jeff says, because I think, Jeff, you said start Kittle earlier in the show.
I also said start Kittle.
Yeah. I forget who I said that over. I don't remember if it was Hawkinson.
I think that matters.
This is really close. I mean, I tend to believe if someone's out, like Kittle, for as long as he was, and they bring him back, normally that's an indication that they're at full health or very close to it. So I'm confused as you guys are. It's if they're going to be on a limited snap, why bring them back? I will say, before I give my answer, one of the fellow writers, Aaron Larson, had a tweet that I thought was very applicable. And he's like, we'll be talking about George Kittle one way or the other for months after this. Because I feel like either he's going to have a monster game or he's not going to do anything at all. I guess I would personally pick Kittle here. It's much riskier.
Yeah.
I think Kittle has the ceiling. So it's ceiling versus floor for me.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know. Again, lineup construction, who you're going against. If you need the safer play, I think Hawkinson is it.
There you go.
Okay, this is my official last question.
All right.
We're going to end it on a team defense question.
Michael, so sorry you had to go against Kamara in your championship.
Yeah, that's tough, Michael. Also, stream. Look at Ryan's list and pick up a defense, because both of these defenses suck. They're so bad.
The Texans or Steelers defense, he needs all the help he can get, obviously, because he played Kamara. So
I don't hate the Texans defense.
I would say if you're going strictly from these two, Texans are my number 10, Steelers are my number 15. The only ones I would go look for, obviously Tampa Bay. They were widely available when the week started.
And you got about 50 minutes to grab them.
Yeah.
Cleveland and Arizona are the only other stream-worthy defenses, and Cleveland's not really. I mean, they're like 80% rostered, so it's unlikely they're available. I would go look for Tampa Bay, Cleveland, Arizona. If it's none of those three, it's Houston.
Yeah.
Good advice.
That's fair. Yep.
All right. Jeff,
Bye,
thanks for joining us. Gentlemen, I don't know what's going on next week because Josh, what's your favorite line about week 17?
Fuck week 17. So we discussed doing a air your grievances.
Oh yes, the
show.
air your grievances.
So
episode.
I think that's what we're gonna do. We're going to have a show Friday night, which we'll talk about a little bit later with Ryan hosting. And I think if everybody is available and cool with it, I think what we'll do is we'll do a Saturday show. We'll invite some of our friends from Fantasy Football Twitter that can pop on, and everybody can obviously chime in on the comments. But we can talk about your highs and lows, things that you're insanely grateful for, things that you wish never happened to you, and let it all on the table. And let's just have some fun as the cool bow on the 2020 NFL season.
And honestly, a cool bow on 2020 in general, because gentlemen, I will see you next year.
Oh, you're one of those, Faith. Kick her out of the room.
I am one of those. I am.
Merry Christmas, Faith. Have
Merry
a great
Christmas,
one.
Faith. Happy New Year. Take care.
All right. Here we go, gents. All right, Jeff, I'll move you to the Basement Boys. My buddy, you're down there with Ryan now. You're officially part of the Basement Boys. All right.
The Baller Basement Boys.
The Baller Basement Boys. All right. Okay. So first off, thank you to everyone that has joined, because I'm seeing
what a show.
ton of new faces. This is awesome.
Hey, right up to kickoff. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And if you could go to YouTube and subscribe, we'd also highly appreciate
we greatly appreciate that. But just back to Krause's question, who had Eckler, Montgomery, Henry, and Chubb. Some dumbass dropped Chubb and he traded for Monty. So there you go.
What?
Yeah. Remember Nick Chubb got hurt, so they dropped him.
Yeah. If you ever have an opening in your league, Krause.
Yeah, more than happy to join. All right, let's fly through some of these because I know we have a lot to get through.
Yeah, we are so far, but actually, we're catching up finally.
Yeah,
so.
From Kashif, DK, Miles Sanders, or A-Rob at flex in a PPR. Josh,
I'm not sitting A-Rob.
Oh, if A-Rob wasn't a hamstring, I would agree 100%. Give me DK because A-Rob could go out after one play.
Okay, Jeff.
I'm going to go A-Rob. I'm not happy about it. I'd like to say DK, but A-Rob I think is the answer.
And to be fair, A-Rob would be the smash play for me if it was not a hamstring.
I think he's going to fight through it because it's his former team, so I would go Allen Robinson.
Yeah.
Johnny, Chris Carson, Antonio Brown, Jeff Wilson. I feel like we already answered this question.
I think we did, yeah, but it's Jeff Wilson.
It is, yes, it is. Sorry, it was a double one. That's my apologies right there. A gent opting out.
Don't know what you're opting out of, but
yeah, well, he's got $3,500 on the line. He's sitting Josh Allen for Jalen Hurts and Dobbins for Fournette in his championship game. Is he crazy? I don't think he is.
I think that's a great. Especially you got to be bold in that kind of league, and I think those are the right calls.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows my stance on Josh Allen, but even if Josh Allen had a good matchup, I think you still play Jalen Hurts in this instance.
Right now, I have a championship matchup where I have both Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts, and I have been waffling back and forth all freaking week.
And his Eagles fan.
That's part of it. But like,
okay,
I was very much on the, don't sit Josh Allen for Tom Brady train. I understand Brady's matchup. I understand Jalen Hurts' matchup. For me, this boils down to Hurts' ability on the ground.
Yeah.
I don't see any scenario where he's not getting at least 60 yards rushing. I can't see that with Brady, and right now I can't see that with Allen.
Yeah.
Allen or Hurts can match both of them passing against that Dallas defense. I am leaning Hurts, so I'm fine with you right now sitting Allen for Hurts. Again, it does make me nervous, and with 3,500 on the line, I'm with you. I would be hella nervous too. But Fournette to me is a smash play over Dobbins. That's easy.
Yeah.
Jeff?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it hurts me to say Fournette over Dobbins personally. I think Dobbins is a much better talent, but Fournette has a more guaranteed workload. So I agree about everything that Josh had said about Hurts versus Allen. And then for the running backs, I think you have to go Fournette.
Yep. From Sam Rosenbaum, PPR and a flex, Mike Davis, Jarvis Landry, Myles Gaskin. Yeah, Ryan says Landry. Jeff?
Landry.
Josh?
Yeah, I think I would lean Landry. He's definitely the safest of the three. Davis against Washington.
Bad.
No way.
Yeah, clean sweep. Jarvis Landry there. From Aaron, Marvin Jones, T. Higgins, Deontay Johnson, Antonio Brown. Pick 2. This is interesting. I would personally go. I'd probably go.
Remember, Tyler Boyd is out.
Yeah, I would go T. I would go T. Higgins and Deontay Johnson.
I would also go T. Higgins and Deontay Johnson.
Jeff?
Agreed. I think Deontay was a smash. Yes for me. Yeah, and Higgins is the
That
other.
just warms Josh's heart.
He's the only receiver they
Deontay Johnson to the moon.
Deontay
Now,
and T. Higgins.
Josh, I'm interested to hear Marvin Jones versus T. Higgins because I know you're high on Marvin this week, so.
Goodness, man. That's tough. I'm gonna trust Stafford more than I trust Ryan Finley.
Yeah.
It hurts because I love T. Higgins. I was a huge proponent of Higgins going into this season. A lot of people laughed at me. Oh, his combine scores, blah, blah, blah.
I was
crap.
he's the next AJ Green.
He is absolutely fantastic, and people were sleeping on him, and they're wrong, clearly.
What's funny is outside of speed, their measurables, him and AJ Green, I was shocked because I had done research on it earlier.
The exact same person.
Yeah.
The same person. They're both 6'4", 210 pounds,
Yep.
same hands, everything.
Yeah,
they are they're clones of each other. So I don't understand why people were down on T. Higgins when AJ Green had done the exact same thing with a bad quarterback.
Yeah.
Is AJ Green a wide receiver 3 play this week with Boyd out?
Ooh.
Absolutely.
Think so?
Yeah.
Flex consideration.
He's been pretty consistent the last few weeks anyway, even with Boyd. So
If you're in a deep league and you need a receiver, I don't see why not. AJ Green can't be a bad play against one of the worst secondaries.
yeah, he's definitely a DFS dart throw for me like every single week, and it's paid off pretty well. So, but yeah, to this Deontay Johnson hands down, slightly Jones, but it's close. And again, it's literally because I trust Stafford more than Ryan Finley.
Yeah. So Aaron, real quick, I was going to say, I will say, like, although I picked Higgins over Jones, and I was talking about how Jones had been inconsistent up or down. If there's one player besides Kamara that's going to score 4 touchdowns in a game, it's Marvin Jones.
Yeah,
he's got the most upside, or as much upside as anybody.
Yeah, it's so I'll just go with Josh. Who do you trust more at the position, T. Higgins or Marvin Jones, and then who do you trust more, Ryan Finley or Matt Stafford? So just weigh that in. But we're all Deontay Johnson, so there's one for you.
To the moon, baby.
From name, Robert Tonyan or George Kittle?
Kittle.
Tonyan.
Yeah, I'm going to go here.
I am literally the biggest proponent of Buda Baker. So this is
That's fair.
Yeah, the biggest fan of Buda Baker in the world.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, and that's the thing is you're talking about guys that are top 5 tight ends. Like, we're putting him against Thomas. We're putting him against Tonyan. We're putting him against Hawkinson. Like, I get it's George
and
Kittle.
It makes sense because these
are guys that have performed all freaking year. Like, just stick with them. Don't risk it with Kittle at this point. If you're asking me about Kittle versus Gesicki, then give me Kittle.
Can we agree that Kittle has probably a higher ceiling than anybody not named Kelsey, Waller, Andrews?
I would argue he has a higher ceiling than Andrews.
Yeah,
there you go. So if you're playing for ceiling and you don't have Kelsey or Waller, then Kittle is probably your play.
Absolutely. Other than that, stick with the floor, play it safe with Tonyan. He's been a touchdown guy all year and doesn't need a ton of workload to do it.
So, Name, I'll tell you this. George Kittle's the best tight end in the NFL. Bar none. He's the best tight end in the NFL. Don't even talk to me about that Travis Kelce bullshit. He can't block. George Kittle's the best tight end.
Though.
Yep.
He is healthy.
And don't forget all those fantasy points you get for blocking.
I wish. Could you imagine pancake blocking? Could you imagine?
Oh, if we had a full bag league, it would absolutely.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. It's out there. I mean, and I don't recommend this. Believe me, I do not recommend this. If you can win your championship with Pat Ricard in your lineup,
do it.
$5.
There you go.
Not good fantasy advice, but that would be badass.
Jeff, I was saying last week, if you needed a deep dart throw in like a really deep league, I was saying Kyle Juszczyk has scored a touchdown in his last 2 games. So I was like, just plug Kyle Juszczyk in if you really need it. Obviously, he didn't score a touchdown, didn't end up working in my favor. I hope no one did it. So, all right, next one from FF Montreal. Someone I love seeing this person's profile picture with ESPN 8 The Ocho.
The Ocho.
For championship weekend, half PPR, Kareem Hunt, Leonard Fournette. Seems like Fournette is the easy pick, but it's gross. Montreal, it is disgusting, actually. But I said earlier in the show, Leonard Fournette's actually a top 36 running back this year in PPR, as weird as it seems. So maybe gross, but Leonard Fournette. And I think we all agree on that.
Agreed.
Yep.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, it's close. Hunt has a good matchup, too. So
yeah.
I don't think you're really going wrong either way, but I think Fournette has the higher ceiling.
Make sure he's in your RB slot, not your flex.
Correct.
Yep. From Gianni CE, George Kittle or Logan Thomas?
Kittle.
I'm going Thomas.
Thomas, if Dwayne Haskins plays. Kittle, otherwise. Johnny says, appreciate it. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, Johnny. Thanks
Yeah.
for being, man.
From Michael. He's crushing his. I'm sorry, Michael. I think this was in response to me saying that starting Alvin Kamara and then trying to pick up people off waivers to not help to, screw your opposing player is getting kicked in the nuts 24 hours straight.
He did send me a kicker question via Facebook Messenger if you want to answer this, Joe. Currently, he's got Matt Prater, but Greg Zuerlein, Kaimi Fairbairn, Jake Elliott, Gostkowski, Santos, Parkey, Gay, McManus, Gold, they're all available. Would you go any of them over Prater?
Kaimi Fairbairn is intriguing because that Cincinnati defense is really bad. And Houston can't seem to put it in the end zone right now. So I would go Kaimi Fairbairn, but Prater's not a bad pick. He's outdoors, right? That game is in Tampa. Yep. Yeah, I would go Kaimi Fairbairn. There you go. All right. From Andrew, need to know by noon. So I assume this
noon
is
Central.
He's in Central. Yep. Standard scoring. Start 2 of the 3, Chris Carson, Kenyon Drake, or Leonard Fournette. So Fournette is the obvious here. So between Chris Carson and Kenyon Drake, Josh.
I'm on the side of Drake this week.
Okay, Jeff.
Same.
Ryan.
Also Drake.
Yeah, I don't like Kenyon Drake this year, but I would also go Drake. From Slavin, Kyler or Jalen Hurts at quarterback? That's a very good question.
Guys, Jalen Hurts is the question of the week by far.
I would go Jalen Hurts.
The only person I'm not starting over Jalen Hurts is Patrick Mahomes. I'll start Hurts in any other league.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
I have Kyler.
I'm dying on that hill. I'm going Jalen Hurts as well. So,
Jeff,
I think Hurts is ultimately my answer, but like if you're going against Alvin Kamara, definitely Hurts. Hurts has more upside. I think if you have you're in one of the apps where they say maybe 65% chance of win or something like that or greater, then I'd go Kyler because I would trust the safer production throughout the season. It's more statistically likely that he has a solid.
And that's kind of what we've been saying about Josh Allen and Tom Brady as well, that they're going to be the safer pick if you're already projected to win your matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, Slavin. I'm in a league where I have Kyler. If I had the dilemma between Hurts and Kyler, I would pick Hurts. So
for the record, Kyler Murray's never thrown for more than 241 yards against the 49ers career. He has
another record. Richard Sherman and Jimmy Ward are both out today.
Yeah, so that definitely.
And week 1,
he had 91 yards rushing against them in week 1.
Yeah. Oh, also he should have had 100, but he took 3 knees.
Oh, that's right. The shotgun knee. That's right.
That cost me my week 1 matchup. Granted, I'm in the championship in that league, so all is well and all is fine.
I remember that.
But yeah, he took 3 knees. So he actually did have 100 yards against the 49ers, but the 3 knees out of the shotgun, dropped them back 9 yards.
I just have a feeling that Kingsbury is going to find a way to screw this game up for Arizona. I don't know why. But he's been making some terrible decisions lately.
Yeah.
So take that for what you will. But I think
almost like
it hurts.
It's almost like he wasn't that good of a head coach at Texas Tech. No. It's almost like that. Almost, not fully,
But
No, he's definitely getting bailed out by Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins this year.
How about Hassan Reddick and his 5 sacks 2 weeks ago? Yeah, no, he is. No, he is. From Hartnell down, James Robinson or Jeff Wilson, full PPR. 1, 2, 3. Jeff Wilson Jr. There we go. All right. Another one from Johnny. No, it sounds like a dumb question, but AJ Brown or Antonio Brown. He already has Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers, and Derrick Henry, who are all playing in the same game.
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown.
Jair Alexander will be on him. I don't care. AJ Brown.
Yep. Tom or Ryan Tannehill. He says he already had Kamara go off. So between Tom Brady or Ryan Tannehill,
you need the upside. Tom Brady.
Brady. I think he had Kamara go off for him.
I think he had Kamara go off for him.
Yeah. But I still say for me, it's Tom Brady regardless.
Yeah, Brady regardless. And then from Gronk stack with Tom Brady or Logan Thomas. I would stack Gronk.
I think I would go Thomas.
I have to go see what I would go. That's interesting.
That is a tough one. I think I'd go Thomas in that scenario.
Gronk has been very hit or miss the last few weeks.
Extremely hit or miss.
Yeah. I would go Thomas with McLaurin out.
I'm not opposed to Thomas. Not at all. I like the stack there. So, you know, if it's 4-point passing touchdowns, you get 10. If it's 6, it's 12. So I like the stack there. From H. Gaines, Le'Veon, Gaskin, or J.D. McKissick. Let's play this, assuming Antonio Gibson is out. Ryan.
Ooh. If Gibson's out, McKissick. If he's not, Bell.
Jeff?
For me, it's Bell either way. I'd go Bell. I like him.
Josh?
I'm with Ryan. If Gibson's out, give me McKissick. If not, go Bell. Atlanta's been tough against the run this year, but again, they're weak against the pass. So Bell has the opportunity to put up a 6 for 60 line receiving. If it's PPR, then it's absolutely 1,000% Bell for me.
I say McKissick has seen 14 targets, 16 targets in games where McLaurin and Gibson played.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'll go McKissick if Gibson's out, but if not, Le'Veon.
Yeah, I mean, if Alex Smith is playing, like he's just gonna pepper McKissick anyway. I mean,
it is Dump City, baby.
Yeah,
Dump City. All right. Also, Michael said Texans. It is none of those defenses.
You'll be fine.
Good luck, brother.
Yeah. Yep. Jen opting out, new subscriber.
Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you. From Mini Jordan 718 PPR, choose a flex. Deontay Johnson, DJ Moore, Antonio Brown, Jeff Wilson, or Singletary. Josh, a fight for your heart. Deontay Johnson or Jeff Wilson Jr.
Always and forever, Deontay Johnson.
All right.
It's PPR. You can't convince me otherwise.
That is so close. That is so close for me.
Because I assume we're debating between those two, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's only those two.
Yeah.
I guess
defense is tough. I get it. Believe me. I'm still going Deontay Johnson because he could very well have 10 receptions for 80 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
San Francisco could get
and that's
the hell down today. Or tomorrow.
Typically, like in those scenarios, I lean running back because it's typically a more guaranteed workload. They have more control over their output. But here I'd go Deontay.
Would also go Deontay. The one thing is San Fran, we love Jeff Wilson, truly do, but there is the possibility San Fran does nothing in that game. So,
yep. I'll go Deontay Johnson there as well. From Michael, Austin Hooper or Jordan Reed. He already has Jarvis Landry. Ryan, would you like to answer that with your stream of the week tight end?
Yeah, not even close. Austin Hooper. Jets are worst against the tight end, and they were bottom 3 against the tight end before Darren Waller did what he did. So
yeah, and I'm not counting on Reed with Kittle back. So
yep.
Plus, I have a water bet with Stepmom Lauren that Hooper will score more than Njoku and Bryant combined on Browns tight ends. So, those exciting water bets.
Jeff, I don't know if you have a different point of view, but.
No, I was reading Ryan's stream of the week beforehand, and you've convinced me about Hooper. Absolutely.
There you go.
And we all said Tyler Higbee this would be the week when he faced the Jets, and he got 4.
Well, let's throw out one other thing. We're also comparing Reed when we know Kittle is going to be back, so it's just that's not even a question in my opinion. Sure. No offense to Mike, it's just there's no way I'm touching Reed with George Kittle in the lineup. So
yeah. From Aaron, would you start all 3 49ers, Jeff Wilson Jr., Brandon Ayuk, and Kittle? If not, who would you bench? Her other options are Robert Tonyan, Russell Gage, the combo in the backfield of Dallas, Zeke, and Pollard, or James Conner.
I mean, you could throw Connor at the wasteland at this point.
Yeah.
I was going to say, here is the one time, and I have been Kittle over Tonyan the entire time. I am not putting that much faith in the 49ers offense. I would go Tonyan over Kittle while still starting Wilson and Ayuk.
I was going to say the exact same thing to a T. Yeah, because in a vacuum, I choose Kittle, but with that much on the line, even if Kittle wasn't injured, it's just a lot of risk, put on one team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go Wilson, Ayuk, and Tonyan as well. Pollard is definitely interesting if Zeke sits, but it looks like
Zeke sits. Pollard is, I almost think, a must start, and I think I'd be okay with starting him over Jeff Wilson. But everything is saying Zeke is playing this game. Even I thought there was a quote that Zeke says he's the healthiest he's been in a month or some shit like that. So.
Yep. All right. Yeah, I agree there.
in his season, but still.
Yeah. I agree there as well. All right, defenses: Colts, Texans, Chargers, or Eagles?
I am going to look it up for me.
I'm the Colts.
Yeah, I am not. I'm actually down on the Colts. I'm still leaning Texans.
Okay. Mini Jordan, if this is your first time tuning into the show, I have said since week 5 that the Steelers are an absolute joke of a franchise this year, and that has clearly shown the last 3 weeks. The Indianapolis is going to look
players only meeting, Joe.
but it wasn't about the play on the field. It was just, a sense of urgency and, we need to really pick up things.
Yeah.
The Colts defense should sack Roethlisberger 3 or 4 times. They're going to intercept him twice, and they're going to force 2 fumbles. There is not a world where Ryan, Indy's not going to respect the run.
Yeah,
there's not a chance in hell Pittsburgh's going to turn the ball over 4 times.
They turned the ball over 4 times last week against the Bengals.
Yeah, and we talked about that game as a fluke to begin with.
Pittsburgh
is averaging 1.2 turnovers per game and less than 1 sack per game allowed.
Okay, what about the last 3 weeks?
Fewer than 1 sack. The last 3 weeks, they have given up a total of 2 sacks, but they do have 6 turnovers. 1 of them taken back for a touchdown. So 2 total sacks. Oh, let's go back to the last since week 9. 2 total sacks since week 9.
Okay. Colts.
I mean, if you're looking at sacks, I think the Eagles might be your best bet, truthfully.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so, if you need sacks.
Throwing that out there.
Yeah.
I'm still going Colts. I think the Eagles give up 28 points.
Oh, they probably will. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, at that point, you're banking on sacks. So I think a lot of it really just kind of depends on your scoring. I'm with Ryan. I would lean the Colts, or Joe, excuse me. I would lean the Colts. I do like the Texans this week. I think, to me, though, they're more of a dart throw because they're not a good defense.
I think we're going to see a big Cincinnati letdown this week. I think T. Higgins might be a good play. We've talked about the possible Gio letdown. They did what they wanted to accomplish, and I think you could see J.J. Watt have a huge game to end the season. So
that's fair, Jeff.
I'd go Texans, but it's close. I mean, it's tough because, like you said, I mean, the Colts they're a much better defense in real life.
Oh, 100%.
Fantasy, I'd go Texans.
I said they're much better defense in fantasy. I just don't like the matchup, and I understand everything you're saying. I just don't see it happening.
Completely fair. All right. This one's kind of interesting considering what David Johnson did last week. Leonard Fournette or David Johnson in a full PPR?
Yeah, it's a tough question.
That's interesting. So I think let's play our favorite game. If you need ceiling, Leonard Fournette. Yeah. If you need the guy who probably has the best floor in all of fantasy football, not named James Robinson, David Johnson.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I think that's how I would lean. I mean, Fournette, I think, has a smash matchup, as we've talked about. I don't know how much the 11 reception game is an anomaly.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't think he's come close to that this year.
No, well, I don't think a Texans RB has come close to that in the last
7
years.
Yeah, let me because I have David Johnson on one of my rosters. The most targets he had in a game before last week were 4.
See, and that makes me think that this is an outlier, but at the same token, without Wolf Fuller, they need anything and everything they like any able-bodied pass catcher.
That's the thing.
So, and Duke Johnson's out.
Yeah.
And I know he was out last week too. So,
yep.
I mean, obviously,
that could be the common thread. So,
yeah, this could be another situation where we see 6+ targets for David Johnson and, by default. So,
yeah. Jeff?
Yeah, I think I agree. Echo what you guys were saying about this.
Cool.
Situational.
And William Jackson III for Cincy has been playing very well this year, and he's going all over Brandon Cooks. So, and he has the speed to match up with Brandon Cooks.
He does.
So, I think you can see a lot of Trad Hansen. You can see a lot of QT, and by default, again, a lot of David Johnson. So,
I've been pleasantly surprised with how well William Jackson has played this year. So I like that.
I mean, he was a first-round corner, so I'm not overly surprised. It's just his game has always been speed.
Sure.
So seeing him play the coverage side of things, he's growing as a corner.
Definitely is. From Marcos, defense, Chicago, Buffalo, or Chicago. My guess is that's a typo.
Chicago. They're my defense 3 this week.
It's Chicago, and then Herbert or Ryan Tannehill.
You don't bench Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Agreed. Except for Hurts.
Actually, I even went against my own advice when someone asked this on Twitter. It was actually Kira, one of our writers. I'm still starting Herbert. So.
I have that decision. I've been flip-flopping all week, but I'm going Hurts over Herbert.
I hope it works out for you. I don't know if there's a wrong answer there.
He said Cleveland. So
Cleveland,
Chicago, Buffalo, Cleveland.
Still Chicago.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Don't sit Justin Herbert unless he plays the Patriots. So.
Yes, and he's not playing the Patriots.
Not playing the Patriots. So there you go. From McSweet Standard, Gronk or Tunyon?
Tunyon.
Yeah, I would go Tunyon.
Look at us agreeing on a tight end.
Yep.
It doesn't happen often, but when it does.
Yeah. All right, so in a half point PPR, Kittle, Hawk, or Logan Thomas?
So we've been fighting about them all show. Let's just throw them all together in one question. It's Kittle for me, and it's Kittle for Jeff, and I'm interested to see what the guys up top take.
Okay.
I think out of these guys, half PPR, I'm going to lean Thomas.
If Haskins plays, it's Thomas. If he doesn't, it's Hawkins.
Thomas has been fine with Alex Smith, so I don't think...
Yeah, but he didn't have 11 receptions in one game for over 100 yards. The dude lit it up with Haskins. That's what I'm saying. Like, destroyed with Haskins. If you need upside, go Kittle. If you need floor, go Hawkinson. If Dwayne Haskins plays, it's Logan Thomas.
There's Joe giving all three. Start all three.
Put all three of them in the lineup. That's a tough one, man. Yeah, that's a tough one. That is a really tough one. I'll just go Kittle for argument's sakes, I guess.
Wow, he took Kittle. I'm shocked.
I don't like it. Okay, how about more tight ends? Let's get more tight ends in the conversation, ladies and gentlemen. From Mini Jordan, full PPR, Goddard or Jonnu? This is Dallas Goddard to me, and it's not even close.
Goddard.
Yes.
Agreed.
Green Bay is so good against the tight end.
Yeah, Darnell Savage has looked great in his second year. Fantastic.
Well, I think he missed a lot of last year with injury, too, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he was in and out of the lineup, yes. From our buddy Dave, Fantasy Go.
Dave.
Conference level Keenan Allen. Other options are Russell Gage, Nelson Aguilar, or Tyron Johnson, who is number 83 for the Chargers, who would essentially fill the role of Keenan Allen.
I'm back on Keenan Allen this week. I was down last week. Back on him this week.
Agreed. Talent. I think you got to go Keenan Allen.
Yeah, I'm not shying away from Allen this week. Gage has a terrible matchup, so does Aguilar. So
and he said
if Allen is doubtful by any means, honestly, I would go Johnson over all of them. So
I say he said 10 days to get right on top of that. So
yeah,
because they were Thursday last week.
Keenan Allen's biggest fan right here. Keenan Allen. From Patty, DeAndre Swift or Carson?
Swift.
DeAndre
Swift. Yeah, this is getting easy. At this point, we're almost 2 hours in at this point. We kind of know what each of us is going for. How about more tight ends, ladies and gentlemen? I think we've listed every tight end that anyone has ever started in their lineup today. Mark Andrews or Darren Waller?
Darren Waller is matchup proof. He is a wide receiver who you get to start at tight end. No corners can cover him. No safeties or linebackers can cover him. Darren Waller.
Yeah, Waller. I will say Eric Rowe has played really well against tight ends this year.
Eric Rowe. You mean the guy?
Look, he was terrible with the Eagles. Absolutely terrible. And
he was terrible with the Patriots too.
Yeah, but for whatever reason, he's playing well in Miami. I don't know why, but he is.
That's fine.
Right.
Waller's a
So-
different breed.
No,
so,
I understand that. I'm not saying that, look, you have two really good options here is really the point that I'm getting at. So if you are worried about the matchup with Waller, you have a strong pivot. But the answer is Waller. You're not sitting Waller.
Yep.
The one play I remember about Eric Rowe that I don't understand why Eric Rowe was covering Alshon Jeffrey in the Super Bowl was Alshon Jeffrey torched Eric Rowe for the first points of the game for Philly. And I had said to myself, why the hell is Stephon Gilmore not playing bump and run coverage on Alshon Jeffrey? Josh, you remember, what did Alshon Jeffrey do after that first catch against Eric Rowe in the Super Bowl?
Fucking lit him up.
No, against Stephon Gilmore.
Oh.
He did nothing. He did nothing. Yeah. Eric Rowe got moved to the next guy, and then Eric Rowe continued to get lit up by the Philly
I remember that where they just kept picking on whoever.
They just kept picking on Rowe.
It was between Rowe or Johnson Batamosi. That was our fucking secondary. So Darren Waller, he will torch Eric Rowe. I think Eric Rowe is a joke.
Yeah, Jeffrey had a good first half in that game, if I remember correctly, and just got absolutely shut down the second half.
He had a great first quarter because you want to know who was covering him? Eric Rowe.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, though, is that they again, and this is a classic case of a guy out of position. He was drafted as a corner. They've been playing him as a safety, and he's been better. It's the same thing they did with Devin McCourty, who started as a corner, moved to safety. Malcolm Jenkins started as a corner, moved to safety. Some of these guys just play better when they don't have to play bump and run all the time.
Which is kind of crazy because McCourty had 6 interceptions his rookie season as a cornerback, which is kind of crazy. All right.
But I will say this. My least favorite Eric Rowe memory is when the Eagles drafted him in the second round when they could have had Byron Jones in the first and took Nelson Aguilar instead. So.
Love that.
Yeah.
All right. From Mini Jordan, this is just for me, ladies and gents, because it's Goggles to the moon. I love
the rocket
love Blankenship. Oh my god. Yeah, there's guys that are, dome proof. It's Justin Tucker and now Rodrigo Blankenship. I'm not even putting Harrison Butker in that conversation because he has not looked good this year. Yes, he's converted field goals, but he has missed a lot more than you think Harrison Butker could. So Blankenship,
I think he's in that conversation with kickers like, oh, pick the guy in the highest scoring offense.
Yep.
Like, I feel like that's the only reason Butker is even relevant at this point.
Butker is accurate. I think since he's entered the league, he has a 90% field goal percentage or above 90%, which is really good, by the way. It's him and Justin Tucker, the only two guys. Blankenship's going to enter that conversation whenever he's eligible for that statistic. From Patty, DK or Chris Carson in the flex. I mean, that.
DK.
Yeah, DK. From Aaron, PPR flex, Russell Gage, Zeke, or Tony Pollard if Zeke doesn't play. So it's essentially...
No, he said if Zeke plays, because I think he's going to go Pollard right away.
Oh, okay.
I would go Zeke. I know with Jones being out, Gage looks enticing, but that KC secondary is good.
And they're
also go Zeke.
Yeah.
I'd go Zeke for the volume.
And Zeke has torched Philly in his career. Absolutely torched. Like, they have a good run defense, and the only running back they can't stop is Zeke. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Yep.
They can contain Barkley until one run gets through, but outside of that, like, Zeke has consistently killed us.
Yeah. Lee keeps asking me why I bring up bad Patriots memories. Well, Lee, when you win 6 championships since 2000, you can bring up the bad ones.
Yeah, there's enough good ones to make you feel.
Yeah, there's enough good ones. I mean, we've endured 16 or 15 games of a bad memory so far this season in Cam. So
what memory is that, Joe?
It's the worst memory of all. When did they? The worst day of 2020 was when the Patriots signed Cam Newton, and been saying it since the day they signed him. Not a good quarterback. This is the last one, potentially, unless someone gets a last minute one.
And I love what it is.
Yes, we just answered this right, and I guarantee you my answer is going to be different. The two bottoms say Kittle. I know that for a fact. Yes. They are George Kittle. Josh, you said Logan Thomas, I think?
I'm on Thomas.
And I agreed for argument's sake, George Kittle. But now I want to say TJ Hawkins.
Well, no, what you said was, and I quote, because Joe gave you all 3 options. He said Kittle if you need ceiling.
Yes.
Hawkinson otherwise, unless Dwayne Haskins
plays, and it's Logan Thomas. Yeah.
But see, here's the problem, though. Kittle plays at 4:00 today.
Yeah.
So it's like...
And Hawkinson plays in 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, guys, I have to. I know this isn't on topic, but I have to bring this up because my dumb brain just came to this realization. My wife and my 5-year anniversary is tomorrow.
Okay.
Sunday of fantasy football championship.
Oh God, heartbreaking.
It is brutal. I just realized it like this morning. I didn't put it together. So
Well, hopefully you have a gift.
I do not, unfortunately. So I have to figure that one out.
I hope the Christmas gift.
Babe, I love you. Our present, we get to watch football all day.
Yeah.
I have to figure that out, but I think I got to pick the wife over football, which is heartbreaking.
Nah, it's always the right choice.
Okay, as I said, this is going to be our last question. We have 3 more come in.
Yep.
From Cole Kids, A-Rob or Robert Woods?
Allen
I don't play with hamstrings. Robert Woods.
Allen Robinson.
Allen Robinson's going to play through a hamstring to torch his old team. So Allen Robinson. Also, if you could find a way to get both of them in your lineup.
Probably not the worst idea.
Yeah, probably not the worst idea. From Dave, if Zeke plays, you playing either him or Pollard.
No.
Other options are Chris Carson, Gio, and David Johnson.
David Johnson.
Yeah, I would go David Johnson in that instance.
Agreed.
But again, I don't hate Zeke. Like I said, Zeke torches Philly every freaking time he plays him.
I like David Johnson, too. Dobbins or Fournette? We already answered this. Fournette.
Yeah, Fournette.
Fournette,
Yeah, definitely Fournette with 14 minutes left.
I was just going to say, you have 14 minutes to make that.
Yeah. The Guardian Smith, Deontay, Gaskin, Corey Davis, Henderson, pick 2.5 point. I know Deontay Johnson is going to be on everyone's list.
Yeah.
So between Gaskin, Corey Davis, or Darrell Henderson?
If it wasn't for that weather, I would go Davis. But I think
too.
I would play it safe with Gaskin.
Oh, I would play it safe with Henderson.
Jeff?
Is it safe, though, with that matchup? Seattle
With no Cam
played the
Akers,
run
I feel
well,
like you're going to see a bunch of dump-offs. So
I'd go Gaskin here. I'm timid about playing Corey Davis. I mentioned this earlier. I think it's Derrick Henry season, and he got lucky with a long bomb last week. He's been good this season, but I'm going Gaskin.
Nice. All right, I want to do this quickly because I know Swift kicks off in 13 minutes. Do you play DeAndre Swift over Melvin Gordon or Jonathan Taylor?
No.
Taylor.
I do not.
No, not Taylor.
Jeff,
Not Taylor.
No, sorry. I picked Taylor over Swift.
Yes.
No. I like Swift, but right now I'm going
Jeff,
Gordon
you've
and
done
Taylor.
such a good show. I was sad to turn on you that quickly.
I love Swift. I think he's going to be criminally underrated entering next season.
Oh God, he's going to be so good next year. I cannot wait to draft DeAndre Swift everywhere.
But Taylor.
Yeah, we talked about Jonathan Taylor has one of the worst championship matchups, and then we've seen what Pittsburgh has done the last 3 weeks and realized that if Giovanni Bernard can score 2 touchdowns on them, so can Jonathan Taylor.
Taylor to the moon.
It's going to be 4 for Taylor. 4
Yeah.
for JT. Maybe 6. Maybe 7.
Do we trust Gibson if he plays?
I do not.
I do.
I'm on the fence, but I would. Yeah, I know.
We're the
I'm
3
helping you
little
a lot
bears.
right here, Aaron. To me, it depends on your other options. Really,
Yeah,
is really kind of how I would feel about that. If I have the choice, which I do in a couple championships, I'm sitting him because I have better options.
Yeah, options. It all comes down to options. I think Gibson is good for a touchdown. I think you may be capped at 10 points on Antonio Gibson. So it just comes down to, can you beat 10 points with your bench?
I like Gibson. The matchup's good.
The matchup is great.
I trust Gibson. From Ahan Malik, full PPR, Mike Davis or Lev Bell. 1, 2, 3. Le'Veon Bell. There we go. Yeah, that one I knew. All right. Just a mere 110 minutes into the show.
I say we got to kill this bitch.
We are officially done. Jeff, thanks for coming on, buddy.
Oh my
Thank
God.
you.
Monster of a show, Jeff. We appreciate it.
Jeff, I can't thank you yet because we have one more. This is the last one. This is the last one, ladies and gents. If we don't get to your question, tweet at us.
I'll answer it in the chat.
Yeah, we'll answer in the chat. Tweet at us. DM us on Instagram, whatever it is. From Marcus, DK, Bell, Gaskin, Gibson, Jeff Wilson at a flex in a standard league.
Bell to the moon. Not Bell, excuse me, DK.
I'd go Bell.
I would go
In a standard.
In a standard, I would go Jeff Wilson.
Yeah, I can't see any situation where I'm trying to bench DK Metcalf. Like it's not going to happen. Sorry. I do. Again, I like Jeff Wilson's matchup, and I think in a standard, he probably has more value than a PPR. But again, how are you going to feel if you sit DK Metcalf and he goes off? Like,
I get it.
I answered DK. You've convinced me. I think you're right.
I will die at the hands of my studs, and DK is absolute stud.
And I'll agree with that answer too. If I was staring at my own lineup, I think I would start DK knowing that Jeff Wilson is probably going to score more points.
Yeah. Yep, I go DK as well. All right, that is everything, gents. Josh, if you want to answer that one in the chat,
it's
and just tweet at us, DM us, whatever. Jeff, thank you for joining. This is awesome. Guys, if you haven't already subscribed on YouTube, please do, because I see a lot of new YouTube faces here. So we appreciate everybody. We don't stop in the off season, for the record. We still do shows every Wednesday.
Yep.
So it's not going to
stop. We're
stop.
adding some more shows, guys. We got some more people coming through, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes. So don't worry. Yeah, don't worry. We got plenty more. Also, for Wednesday show on the 29th, the 30th. The 30th, thank you. We're going to have Mark Sessler from the NFL Network joining us. So that's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. So join us Wednesday, 7 o'clock Eastern, everywhere you're watching now, and Twitch. Josh.
We also have our first Friday DFS show.
Yeah.
With the guy down below, Ryan, hosting with our very own Kira Wojtrowski and Fantasy Mike from Ball Blast are going to be on the show with us. Yeah. So Ryan, hosting duties, that's all you, buddy.
That's right.
No. And then, as mentioned previously,
just the facts.
And as mentioned previously, on 1-2, we're going to do our Fantasy Grievances show. So everybody that has joined us throughout the year, you guys have an open invitation to come back, hop on for 5-10 minutes, have some fun, shoot the shit. We can answer some questions for those that are unfortunately playing in week 17, but also just talk about your highs and lows for the fantasy season and have a grand old time. Then our next Club Dynasty show will be on the following Saturday morning on the 9th. And our old buddy Angelo is our first confirmed guest for that show. And I'm working on a second one to join him to preview some of our 2021 rookies that will be coming in and stealing all of our hearts throughout the offseason in 21 season.
Or breaking our hearts, either one. Yeah. Either one. All right. So for the Fantasy 5, the One Hudsonian and Jeff, what is the Twitter, my guy? Plug yourself.
At the Fantasy Eng. I didn't put that. I just realized that about 1 minute ago. You guys have
you're good.
Come on, Jeff. So at the game, man. Jesus.
I'm a writer for the Fantasy Footballers. Thank you guys very much. You guys do great stuff, and this is a ton of fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah. Jeff. Anytime you're welcome back. This is a lot of fun. We appreciate you coming on. So always remember, defense wins championships. Offense wins fantasy football. Good luck in your championship week. We hope to see you back here either on Wednesday or next Saturday or Friday. Wow, we got a lot of shows coming up with the good news that you won your league championship. So good luck, everybody, and enjoy football Saturday as well as